I'm going to talk with you about the Blingboard64's basic control board and what it can do. The basic control board is a very simple board that controls just the LEDs. It only has the ability to read the shift lock and the restore switches, and that's it. It doesn't have the ability to look at any other switches at all. So I had to come up with a very creative menuing system to allow you to change the LEDs. And it's pretty simple, so I'll go through the steps for you of how to change all the different colors. So power it on, and you can see that the LED comes on. If you press and release the shift lock, you can see the fact that it's a dim red right now. Indicates the shift lock is latched because it's a soft latching shift lock. So you can see if it's lit up, then you get caps lock. When it's not, it's normal. So to get into the menu system that I created, you're going to press and hold the shift lock key until you see the #1 key light up. So now it's in the menu system. And now you can advance the menu by pressing and releasing the shift lock key to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and do it again and it'll wrap back around. Each one of these has its own function, and we're going to go through all these functions so you can see exactly how to change every single feature. So to get into this particular feature, so #1 is the LED pattern, which is the color of the keycaps when you're using the computer. And so that could be a solid pattern, or it could be a pattern where the LEDs are actually moving. So to get into that, we're going to hit the restore key, just tap it, and notice that there's nothing lit up because the very first pattern is off, which is the default. So now if we press and release the shift lock key, you can see now all the LEDs are red. Do it again and it's green and blue and yellow and cyan, magenta and white. And then we actually have patterns. So this is a rainbow pattern. This actually is a moving pattern. You can actually see that it's moving. It's changing colors. And the next pattern is what's called outrun. And this is a moving pattern as well. And it actually fades between cyan and purple and I think a couple of similar colors. Do it again, and then we have the snake pattern, which basically traverses the keyboard. And next we have Kit from Knight Rider. It's a very dim because the LED brightness is down, and we'll talk about how to change that in a second. And then there's this pattern. And then we have a pattern that does a color shift, so it's an HSV color shifting. And then we have this pattern as well. So to select the pattern you want to use, we'll just go pick a pattern. Let's pick the snake because that's easy to see. So to select the pattern, and so it's locked in memory of what you want, you press and hold the restore key until it goes back to the menu. And so that's locked into the computer right now. So if I power this off and I power it back on, that's what's going to pop up as a snake pattern because that's what we set it to. So we'll jump back into the menu by holding the shift lock key down. So now one's lit up, and we will tap it again. And now #2 option is the pattern brightness. So how bright is that pattern going to be, whether it's a solid color or the snake pattern? So we'll tap this. You can see it's running, and every time we hit the shift lock key now, it's going to change. It's going to get brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter to the point where it will actually wrap around and be very dim. So you can click it over and over and over again, and you can see it gets brighter and brighter. There are 16 levels of brightness that you can set, and so to lock that in place, we're going to press and hold the restore key until it goes back to the menu, which we did. Okay, so we do this again. The third one is the pattern speed, how fast the animation is. If it's a pattern that has an animation, obviously solid colors don't have animations. If it's red, green, blue, whatever, it's going to be just those colors. So we'll tap this, and we can see the pattern running, and we tap the shift lock key, and you can see that it'll actually get faster and faster, and until the point where it wraps around. There's 16 speeds you can select in this, and so let's lock this in. Let's say if we didn't want to lock this in. Let's say that we didn't really want to change this setting. We can actually press and hold the shift lock, and it'll actually jump back to the menu without saving that as your pattern. So if we power this off again, you're going to, or the speed, I mean, you can see that the speed stayed the same as we had originally. So the speed didn't change. So we'll go back in the menu, 3. Now we're on 4. 4 is the color of the shift lock key in the latch position. So we'll hit that, and then we see we can red, it's green, it's blue, yellow, cyan, magenta, and then white. There are no patterns as far as moving patterns are concerned. You can have it off if you want. So you can just pick a color you want. Let's go and pick blue, and we'll lock that in. And then we'll go back to the menu, and the next menu option is 5, which is the brightness of the shift lock. So now you can see when we press and release it, it's going to get brighter and brighter and brighter until it wraps around. Again, there's 16 different brightness levels. So let's go pick a brightness we like. That's good. We'll lock that in. Okay, so that's the main keyboard part. And go to number 6. If you have a Razzle LED, which is a separate product that you would have purchased with the Blingboard64, we can change the color of the LED. That's what the number 6 option is. So the patterns run so you can get an idea of what the LED looks like with whatever pattern you've selected. So we'll go ahead and we'll change the color. You can see it change: red, green, blue, yellow, cyan, and magenta, and then white. So you can pick whatever color you want. Let's pick the blue, and we'll lock that in. And so the 7th option, you might guess, is the brightness of the Razzle LED. We'll lock or hit that button, and we will tap through the colors. You can see it gets brighter and brighter and brighter until it goes dim. So let's leave that to be sort of dim. And we'll press and hold this, and now we're back. So to get out of this menu, you can either power off, or you can press and hold the shift lock key, and that'll get you back to the main keyboard usage, out of the menu system completely. So everything functions. And you can see now we've got our blue LED we had, and then our caps lock key is actually in blue as well. So if you don't want to change these back manually, which is basically you'd have to change 7 different things, I do have a feature that is nice that if you hold down the shift lock key and the restore key while powering on, you're going to see it blink 3 times red, and now it's reset everything back to factory defaults. So you notice that the shift lock is back to the red like it was originally with dim. So it gives you a fresh start. So if you don't want to monkey with all the settings, it's an easy way to get back to it. So that is the programming of the Blingboard64's basic control board. And we'll go over the Super Duper board in another video.